We got a new preview of Ninja Gaiden 4's gameplay. That's right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is not over. We still got bangers. People are saying game is dead. I said, where's your head? We got Ninja Gaiden 4 coming. Outside of 2. You got Borderlands 4. You got Ghost of Yote. We still got games to play. It's too many fucking games. I'm pretty sure there's other games I'm forgetting. On top of all the bullshit that came out early in the year. It's too many. And we gonna look at the latest preview. But before we do, friendly reminder, I am giving away a Alienware gaming laptop. I'm sponsored by Alienware, and I now have an extra laptop that I am doing nothing with. So if you want to get into PC gaming, enter the giveaway, ! Giveaway in the chat. The specs are listed on the giveaway page. Works on YouTube and Twitch. The command ! Giveaway. If you're watching on Hokage highlights, the link will be in the description box below. This is your chance to make it out of being a PS4 nigga. All right, let's check out, speaking of 4, let's check out Ninja Gaiden 4. Outer Worlds 4, my bad. Outer Worlds 2, my bad. Let's get it. Let me turn this music up. This is your chance to get out of the PS4 trenches. I gotta turn this shit on 4K. Game Pass.
Let me take you on a
goddamn
to the past for a second. It's the early 2000s, years before a little game called Dark Souls would forever change the landscape of the action and action RPG genre. It was a time mostly without stamina bars, a time when style, spectacle, and creative expression of combat ruled above all else. A time when games like God of War 1 and 2, Devil May Cry 1 and 3, and God Hand blazed the trail for others to follow. But if you ask me, there was one game that stood above all of them, a masterclass of action design that challenged and thrilled the teenage me with aggressive enemy AI.
I don't know if I would agree with that statement. I did love Ninja Gaiden, but I don't know if I would have put this as my favorite action game.
Gorgeous visuals and the most dazzling combat I had ever seen. That game was Ninja Gaiden, and later Ninja Gaiden Black. I made a whole feature on why I think Ninja Gaiden is the pinnacle of the action genre, so I won't spend too much time on that here. But the point of all this preamble
like a stamina bar, give me combos and bad cameras.
Were massive.
Are you hoping the camera ass in this shit too?
Based on the 4 chapters of this preview build, it's living up to them. This is exactly what I've always wanted a modern Ninja Gaiden game to be.
Pinnacle is a crazy word. It's all subjective. Like me personally, I think I'd say Bayonetta 2 is my favorite action game, but you know, I'm not gonna argue with him because Ninja Gaiden is a respectable choice. I understand. That's always the rule. Make a respectable choice.
First, while this is co-developed by Platinum Games, make no mistake, this feels like Team Ninja's Ninja Gaiden through and through, regardless of whether you're playing as Ryu Hayabusa or newcomer Yakumo. There's no split of Yakumo's levels feeling like a Platinum Games protagonist, and Ryu's feeling like traditional Ninja Gaiden. The two characters do have distinct playstyles and movesets, but you'll be doing a lot of the same tricks with both characters. From Izuna drops,
what the? Leave Hurricane!
To guillotine throws, to quick charge ultimate attacks, etc. Where Platinum's influence felt is in the absolutely wild segments in between bouts of combat. One level felt like a demonic.
There's a movement against this game from old school Ninja Gaiden fans, kind of like the Snyderverse fans. What's their beef with this game? I was unaware of that. What's their beef?
3D Sonic stage, as I had to bounce between physics-defying rails while avoiding getting shot by a helicopter, using my grappling hook to pull myself from rail, to wall, back to rail, finishing off with a dramatic leap into an assassination from above to kickstart the next combat.
I want to be ninja.
One of the many times I grinned like a giddy little child, laughing out loud and shouting,
"Leave Hurricane!"
That was so sick! When it comes to the fundamentals of combat, Ninja Gaiden 4 feels like an even better version of Ninja Gaiden 2. You've got light attacks, heavy attacks, shurikens, and of course the signature flying swallow attack that allows you to quickly jump and potentially slice their head off with just a single strike. New to Ninja Gaiden 4 is a powered up form for both Yakumo and Ryu, accessed by holding down the left trigger that allows them to use slower but much harder hitting attacks. Powered by a meter that is filled primarily by landing hits with your base form and by using obliteration techniques on dismembered foes.
Damn.
Use this form primarily to break through an enemy's guard once they start blocking your standard attacks.
I predict this game is gonna have probably some of the best boss fights of the year.
or to guard against one of the many especially powerful red glowing attacks that many larger enemies and bosses like to use. Yakumo's Blood Raven form allows him to use a giant blood sword that extends and allows for some really cool looking attacks that hit a wide area.
They got rivers of blood in this shit.
Allows him to use the kinds of multi-hitting high-speed sword slashes that you would normally get from charging up an ultimate technique.
As long as it's not Bayonetta 3 situation, I'm cool. Well, to be fair, I don't think this is going to be a Bayonetta 3 situation. Bayonetta 3 was always doomed just because it was a new game being held back by old hardware. Like, not only was the story and the gameplay felt off, but like the frame rate was just always dropping. Like, this is buttery smooth, so this ain't no Bayonetta 3 situation.
But it's the small touches and improvements that really made me fall in love with Ninja Gaiden 4's combat.
It felt like they just made it because they had to.
Enemies and can be used to knock airborne foes out of
Game of the Year contender or nah? This looks like it could potentially be a Game of the Year. I am curious though, because I feel like action games like this obviously are not as... This was regular PS2 shit, right? But I do feel like this genre is not as popular anymore. It's more niche. So I am curious to see if action game for sure. I think it will get nominated for best action game. But I'm curious because of the politics that are involved in gaming now. Could it crack a Game of the Year nomination? I'm not sure. I don't know what's the temperature on this genre.
Or encouraged to use the environment to your advantage thanks to powered up flying swallows when you use them out of wall runs. How you can now use quick charge ultimate techniques right after landing from an Izuna drop or flying swallow, or the way you can grapple up to zip up to a flying drone, leap off them, land a couple strikes on a flying enemy, and then literally yank them out of the air and pile drive them into the ground. That was so sick! This is exactly the kind of substantial, but ultimately iterative upgrade to the classic style of Ninja Gaiden's combat that I had hoped Ninja Gaiden 3 would be. Perhaps the thing I was most delighted about, though, was that Ninja Gaiden 4's boss battles, or at least the two that I've played so far, are excellent. Outside of a handful of exceptions, bosses have never really been a particularly strong suit of the series. But right out of the gate, the first boss, a large samurai-clad enforcer,
yeah, this shit's super bloody.
Tests of my skills, reflexes, and pattern recognition. It was an intense one-on-one fight against an enemy that was reactive to what I was doing. He would parry my attacks and follow up with a quick counterattack.
Big parries.
If I stood too far away, he would quickly close the distance and bring the aggression to me. He would sneak in.
What's the vibe after the news? I'm on the Liza P DLC. I beat the first boss last time.
By quickly hitting him with an attack.
So just continuing that.
I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole fight, and even when I died, I would catch myself smiling at how much fun I was having. The second boss was a little less traditional.
He said a fun struggle.
After our first encounter, she fled, leaving me to chase her through a distorted demon hellscape, but the actual battle itself was no less impressive. She wielded a giant umbrella that she would twirl around continuously, forcing me to be precise.
I wonder how many dumbasses are gonna be on Twitter talking about, bruh, when they see like footage like this, another Souls game. Because I swear, anything with a fucking sword, a third-person camera, and a damn boss health bar, a Souls game.
Another thing I appreciate,
bro, it's not a Souls game,
were the grapple points that I could quickly use to zip out of the way, and then flying swallow right back to keep up the aggression. My demo gave me a ton of skills unlocked right from the start, and while that was very much appreciated in the sense that I had Ryu and Yakumo's full...
Motherfucker's gonna say Sekiro did it first, right?
Also didn't give me a...
Man, this shit a rip off of Sekiro. This nigga parrying this shit corny, bro. I didn't get past the 8, but you know, I can see it.
Good sense of what the progression would be like in the full game, and how much of that arsenal do Ryu and Yakumo start off with, which is something that I am very much looking forward to figuring out once I get my hands on the full version. At the very least, I can say that the training and tutorial tools in Ninja Gaiden 4 seem excellent. There's a full training mode where you can practice against customizable enemies, you're able to look back and get explainers with video on every technique that you've learned, full combo lists, the whole works. While the levels are linear and I didn't happen to find any golden scarabs or crystal skulls, there are still things to do and find off the beaten path. There are terminals throughout the level that come with submissions, such as defeat X number of enemies in Y location, or locate a number of creatures called Gordies.
Patrick Star sounded us.
Capture by completing a quick button press minigame. By far the coolest thing to find though are the combat challenge rooms, where you can actually set your health handicap and get a reward based on how hard you make the challenge for yourself. I love the challenge rooms in the OG.
Yeah, I did King of Shade. I covered it early. That shit look fire. You know we on it.
And the ability to essentially set your difficulty.
They got clickers in this.
That gives you an appropriate reward for the effort you put in. The currency you gain can be used to purchase items.
I can see a world where people, if they feel like the camera's too good in this game, they're gonna complain. Man, this shit too easy, man. I can see everything. I'm almost done with this damn lawn. Then I can play some Battlefield 6. That's right. The weekend. God damn, bruh. I feel like it was just last weekend I was playing fucking Battlefield 6, and we back this weekend with it again.
At the shop, but again, I didn't really have to engage with this.
They stole this character from Dead or Alive, right?
Most of the things I needed.
I've seen him before.
Provide to me.
It's already live today. Oh, I didn't even know it was live today. I'll probably hop on it this weekend. I'll do a stream probably.
It's rare that
or tomorrow. I gotta coordinate. I ain't gonna hold you. It's getting harder and harder the older I get to coordinate with the boys. People got responsibility and lives and shit. I got to coordinate like a session so we can play with the boys.
It finally comes, and it seems to
like,
be...
Niggas, I ain't gonna lie, niggas got to make a play date when you hit 30. Shit is crazy.
But so far, Ninja Gaiden 4 is...
Do I have an editor? I have editors.
October 21st can't come fast enough. Do you have any questions about Ninja Gaiden 4? Let me know in the comments, as I'm planning to do a follow-up to go through as many of them as I can.
That's real. Only the older will understand that shit.
Keep it here on IGN.
That ass is so damn difficult to coordinate. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love my single-player games. I grew up being a single-player game, but every once in a while, I do like multiplayer and hopping on with like friends and shit like that, but it gets harder. So it's like, that's why I be playing so many single-player games. I'm playing it out with friends. I was like, yeah, I'm free in 3 weeks. Exactly. You really do have to do that shit. Yeah, everybody got to be in the mood. Facts. I'm not gonna lie. This is the second preview I've watched from IGN, and both times they praised the hell out of it. At this point, I'd be shocked if this game gets less than an 8.5, but I feel like it's going to get at least a 9 based off these previews I've seen. That's the vibe I'm getting. I didn't hear him say nothing negative. So I feel like the base for it is, I feel like the floor for this game is an 8.5, but I feel like it's going to get a 9 at least, and maybe even higher. I don't know, because the boss fights could be fire. The story could be fire, but it looks good. It might not be the same guy. That reinforces my opinion, because then that's two different opinions, and they're all praising it. So it's Platinum Games is guaranteed an 8 or 9. That's cap, nigga. Platinum Games, what? Platinum Games is one of the most inconsistent studios in the business. Yeah, Platinum Games will give you Ninja Gaiden 4, Bayonetta 2, but then they'll also give you Bayonetta 3, Ninja Turtles, The Legend of Korra. Did you forget about that? What's that joint? The canceled Xbox game, Scalebound. Like, what are you talking about? Platinum Games is very inconsistent. Babylon's Fall. Yeah, for every what's that game with the dog on the chain and the Switch? For every one of those, you get Babylon's Fall. Don't remind me of Korra. Name a bad game they made, though. I just did. Babylon's Fall, Ninja Turtles, and Korra. Those, and not only are they bad, they're fucking horrible. They're not mid. They're fucking horrible. We're very bad. You said name a bad game. Y'all niggas don't play no fucking games, bruh. Cut it out, bruh. Astral Chain ran like ass. It ran okay for me. And Scalebound never even came out, bruh. So like, nah, they've dropped several duds. They mad the original Avatar was ass. They go to Twitch chat tripping. I love when somebody says something stupid from the opposite chat. Somebody else, they go to that Twitch chat. Them niggas don't know shit, bro. They go to YouTube chat. Also, Ninja Gaiden news. Ninja Gaiden 4 will have the option of choosing better graphics or an improved frame rate. So you can go between the Xbox Series X and PS5 with 120 frames, and the Xbox Series S is capped at 60 frames. So that's cool. You can get up to 120 frames, which means the PC version is going to be even buttery smooth. And this is very important for a game that's super fast paced, so you can't cry about the inputs. Bayonetta's my fave too. You got good taste. Yeah, Bayonetta 1 and 2 are classics. 3, we don't talk about that game. Yeah, Ninja said Bayonetta 3 was ass. Ninja Turtles was ass. Korra was ass. Babylon's Fall was ass. And Scalebound never came out, nigga. That's 5 games. You said name a bad game. They man, y'all niggas don't play no fucking games. Tell me about Platinum Games. I know about Platinum. We got an update on the thieves of the fucking industry. Remember Tencent was making a game that ripped off Horizon, which is funny because why would you rip off fucking Horizon of all games? Apparently, Sony is quietly trying to sue them. So now they're trying to change the game. They removed all the assets. I read this one already. They removed all the assets off the Steam page so it doesn't look like Horizon anymore, and they're reworking the entire game, basically. That's the gist of this fucking article. But if you hadn't seen it, it literally looked just like Horizon. And it's funny, too, because a story came out that said that Tencent was trying to use the license of the Horizon IP for their own spinoff game, and Sony refused to let them use the license. So then Tencent went out and made its own copycat clone. But the thing is, they made it, you can draw inspiration from anything, but you can't blatantly rip something off, because then that's a breach of IP. And Sony was like, oh, fuck no. So now Tencent is feeling the heat. They know they was wrong. They're not fucking slick. And now they're changing the game. So that's the update. That's funny. I'm not going to argue Legend of Korra being ass, but it does have the combat I would want in a good Avatar game. Still was ass though. Oh, man. Former BioWare executive producer breaks down what really happened to Anthem. Oh my lord, I can't believe we're still talking about this game. Last month, EA announced it would shut down BioWare's Anthem on January 12, 2026. And now, after a rocky 6 years for the game, its executive producer, Mark Darren, has come forward to share details on exactly how Anthem came to be and what went wrong in the process. In part one of a planned multi-part video series, Darren spends an hour walking viewers through Anthem's development as he understands it from 2011 through the moment he took over as executive producer in 2017. Admittedly, his perspective isn't 100% complete, as Darren was not working directly on the game throughout much of this time. But as a higher up at BioWare and eventual executive producer, he was nonetheless positioned to see a lot more than most. Darrow was the only executive producer for the final 16 months of the game's development. Even so, he opens the video up by taking ownership of Anthem's failings and struggles. We like accountability. Shout out to that. How close is the line to Power World's issues? Isn't Nintendo suing them, I think? They let it slide, but I'm pretty sure I remember I read an article. They suing them now. Some of this video is going to look like I'm trying to shift the blame around, but ultimately the responsibility for the game does not mostly rest on me, he says. I have a list of people that I won't share that I also feel share blame on this project. He's saying it was a group effort. Almost everyone on this list is more senior than me. The team worked really hard on this game. The team put a lot of excellent work on this game, and there are things that are amazing in the game even now. Darragh goes on to walk on through the first 6 years of the development, outlining a number of pitfalls Anthem ran into along the way. He talked about his Anthem's original conception at the time within EA, where its executives believed single-player games were no longer desirable, leaving BioWare in a challenging position as a historically single-player-focused studio. Translation: the first person to blame is EA, because BioWare wanted to continue their long-winning formula of games like KOTOR, KOTOR 2, Jade's Empire, Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. And EA said, no, we know you just dropped 6 fucking classics. Can we talk about that? Oh, well, granted, KOTOR 2 was made by Obsidian, but I'm gonna still give it to BioWare because BioWare created KOTOR. KOTOR 1, 2, Jade's Empire, Mass Effect 1 to 3. These niggas went on a generational run. For those who don't understand why people love BioWare so much, these niggas dropped not 6 good games, 6 fucking, man, I gotta clout them because I feel like oh my God. I apologize to the Dragon Age community. Dragon Age 2. How can I forget? I feel like we rag on studios too much. And don't get me wrong, they deserve their criticism, but I gotta clap them up right now. These niggas dropped 7 classics in a row. Do you know how hard that is? That's crazy.
Now listen, that's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
So if you wasn't there for that generational run of games and you don't understand why people are still holding on to hope for BioWare, it's because they went on a generational run, bruh. 7 not 7 good games, 7 classics, bruh. Anyways, and them games still stand the test of time, by the way. Make Jade Empire 2, please. Anyways, if I can give some perspective, shout out to him for taking some level of responsibility, and also for him throwing EA under the bus, because you know that, right? BioWare, it sounded like the first problem was BioWare wanted to continue what they specialized in, creating single-player, thoughtful, heartfelt, fleshed out action adventure games by RPGs. That's what BioWare specializes in with dialogue trees. It seems like they wanted to continue that lineage, and EA said, there's this new thing called live service, and we think we should get in on it. So what happened is, from what it sounds like to me, is you had a company, BioWare, who specialized in playing basketball. But the people who front the money for the jerseys and the shoes and the buses and the planes to get to the game said, you guys are pretty good at basketball and you guys are really athletic. You can jump and run really high, and you can jump really high. You can run really fast. So maybe we should try playing baseball because baseball makes more money. That's basically what EA did to them. And they're looking around like, nigga, we're basketball players. Yeah, but you guys should play baseball. So the first person to blame is EA because it put them down this fucking path. And you know the worst part is EA is still at fault because for those unaware, BioWare, when it came to the new Dragon Age game, they wanted to make a single player action adventure RPG like they traditionally make, and EA made them make another live service game, and then halfway through development, EA didn't like it, so they had to scrap it and remake the game while still keeping certain elements in the game. Crazy. So now, if I could give my perspective on why I think Anthem failed, not only did EA fuck them over, but they didn't have a proper sense of leadership. And I don't think they had the right talent. Because I mean, I've talked about this on streams one time. A lot of times gamers think that something sucks and there's like some type of malice behind it. Like no, the thing you have to understand if you never created anything, no artist on earth wants to make bad art. Like artists don't really want to finesse you. They want to, them niggas are sensitive. They want you to like what they make. What happens is sometimes when you're an artist and you get put in a situation where you can't front the bill, so you have somebody else doing it, it puts you like in a sticky position. So it sounds to me like there was a lack of talent. Talented team, but a lack of talent that understood live service games. They were not equipped for that. And they didn't have the proper leadership. If I could go back in time and advise them, I would have told them, all right, you guys know how to program games. You understand how to make single player RPGs and action games, but you don't understand the live service aspect. You don't understand how to create a gameplay loop that keeps people involved and wanting to log in and do those dailies, right? So if I was EA, I would have paid to bring somebody in, especially for the development of this game that specialized in live service games. I would have poached somebody from the Destiny team. You see what I'm saying? And be like, all right, this guy is one of the heads of the studio just for this game, okay? So that we understand how to create a fun gameplay loop to keep people hooked. That's where they fucked up. They didn't bring in new talent. They tried to stick to what they had already. And then the second thing, from my own personal perspective, for those unaware who are new to my content, technically I am a game developer. My name, unfortunately, is in the credits of Anthem. If you don't believe me, look up the credits on YouTube. The credits are really long, but my name is in the game. Why? Because way back in 2018, me and Ethos were flown out by EA to Sweden, and we got to play the game a year and a half, almost like 2 years before that came out. We got to play test the game. They flew out a bunch of content creators. I was under strict NDA type shit. And here's what happened. We were there for like 3-4 days. It was cool. Got the first time in Europe. You're responsible for that sorry ass game. Nah, listen. We got to play the game for like 2 days, right? And I'm talking about we played the game. We woke up, ate breakfast, and we just played because we were play testers, right? On that third day, I kid you not, they brought us into a room. It was about 20 creators, and most of us were from the Destiny community. I just went and checked their list of games BioWare dropped on that list filled with bangers. I told you. Some of y'all wasn't old enough to be around when that happened. But anyways, they put us in a room. They flew out like 20 people. And I would say about 80 to 90% of the people that were there were Destiny creators. Me and Ethos were Variety. And there were a couple other Variety people there. What happened was when they sat us down, we sat in a room for like 8 hours and we just debated on gameplay mechanics, what we liked, what we disliked, what we wanted to see improved. We asked, why did they do this? We even talked about the business model and how they were going to handle that. No, Watts wasn't there. Watts wasn't a part of the podcast at the time. This is in 2018. This is a long time ago, guys. Long story short, them niggas didn't listen to anything. And not only did they not listen to anything, this might offend some people. In the defense of the developers, when I say they didn't listen to anything, they didn't listen to anything I had to say. They didn't listen to anything Ethos had to say. You know who else was there? I think that's when I met him. If you know Paris, he does the podcast with Danny, dark skinned dude. He always beefing with niggas on Twitter. Paris was there too. Paris had some criticism. They didn't listen to Paris. But you know who they did listen to? They listened to the Destiny community. Them Destiny niggas, oh my God. So check it out. Paris Lily. Yeah, shout out to Paris Lily. Check it out. It was a room of us, about 20 of us, right? Me, Ethos, Paris, and like maybe 2 other people were saying something. It was about 5 of us. Imagine being in a room with 20 people and they're all saying you need to make it like Destiny. You need to do this, you need to do that because we play Destiny and da 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 da. I feel like them Destiny niggas wasn't judging the game for what. So like when I judge something, I'm judging it based off of their vision. I'm looking at it at how can I improve your vision, but I don't want you to change it. I felt like, and this is the problem with, you gotta be careful about who you take feedback from. It felt like the Destiny content creators that were there, they were all YouTubers because this is before Twitch was super big. The Destiny YouTubers wanted them to change the game for what they wanted it to be, which is more like Destiny, which doesn't make sense because Destiny was already popular at the time, right? So what you had was a room full of people chirping and saying, make it like Destiny. And you had a few people that said, no, you should do X, Y, and Z. And it sounded like we were just trying to be different and we were just hating, to the point where I'm not gonna lie. I remember I was talking to one of the EA developers on the bus to lunch. And I was just like, he was like, yeah, he's like, I feel like you were talking more in the first half, but then you kind of got quiet. He's like, what happened? I was like, I ain't gonna hold you, dude. Because all the Destiny creators were white. And me and Ethos were literally disagreeing with everything they were saying. I was like, I just didn't want to come across like the angry black guy. I was like, I hate to get all political or whatever on it, but I was like, they were all saying one thing. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I completely disagree with you guys, with them. And I was like, I didn't want to come across a certain way. You know how it is. Any people of color in the chat, if you ever worked in corporate America, you don't want to come across like a certain type of way and then fuck up your money, basically. So I was like, yeah, I didn't want to come across like I was just super negative or trying to be like anti everybody else or whatever. Especially because we were the only ones saying X, Y, and Z. So I can tell you right now, we identified what was good about the game, but we also identified the gameplay loop was weak. Also, I remember us having a heavy conversation about the business model. I didn't agree a lot with what they wanted to do with the business model. And it fell on deaf ears. And that shit pissed me off because my name ended up in the game. And I remember I was like, bro, what the fuck? Them niggas didn't listen to anything we had to say. So I'm gonna be honest. If you want to know why the game came out the way that it did, I'm not gonna put it 100% on the Destiny community. But them niggas did play a role. EA fucked BioWare over. BioWare was understaffed. I don't think they had the proper staff to handle the live service gameplay loop. And them Destiny niggas definitely had some bad input on how to improve the game. It was a stew of bullshit. It was a stew of bullshit. So that's my perspective. At my unit, there's a contractor I can't work with because she called me aggressive because I told her so. Yeah, like unfortunately, yeah, people will call you aggressive because you disagree with them. They couldn't fly you out to play test Andromeda. I didn't play test Andromeda. I did play it early though, but it was like a vertical slice. What's the name? But that's when I learned, like, you got to be careful with EA because W Clip Farm, we shitting on the Destiny community. I will be pissing them off. Freaking, I played Andromeda early too. Not as early, like we played Anthem when like we was like, oh, this is an unfinished game. Like that was, we played Anthem early. I played Andromeda early, but it was like a few months before the game came out. The game was done. But the problem with that, and like I remember I made a video, top 5 reasons I'm excited for Mass Effect Andromeda. You gotta keep in mind, when it came to Andromeda, they were coming off the success of the original trilogy. I went and played the game early, and they gave us a vertical slice. And I swear to fucking God, the vertical slice that we played, we got to play for 2 hours. It was polished. It was fun. I remember he was like, oh, this shit gonna be lit, bruh. The full game came out. That shit was a fucking disaster. And I took a hit in terms of credibility for a little while because I hyped the game up. I thought it was going to be good. So that's when I learned an industry lesson. When you get invited to these early events, if you ever want to be a content creator, take everything with a grain of salt. They will set you up to make you look fucking stupid because you don't know if you're playing like, matter of fact, ask them. I'll give you an example. Like this is the only thing I probably say. Like I played the final build of Metal Gear Solid Delta, like the one that's coming out later this month. The game's already done. I played it, so I understand and I feel confident about my opinion when I'm allowed to share it of what I think because they straight up told me. Now I ask, hey, where is this build at? Is this game done? Are you guys polishing it? That was an unfinished build, but they gave us the level that was polished, that was done. They gave us that level, and they said play that. And I thought the shit was gonna be fire. So now I always say, hey, take what I say with a grain of salt because I don't know. Sometimes they don't want to answer whether or not the build is done or not. So you gotta be careful with that shit. That's why I said Skate is a red flag, bruh. Y'all know Skate come out later this month, right? Where's the hype for that game? That shit look unfinished from that fucking gameplay, bruh. Oh shit! Look at the chat. Really? Yeah. What is Skate? I'm pretty sure it's Skate release date. I'm pretty sure it comes out this month. Oh my bad. End of September. I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. Oh no, end of the summer. I'm pretty sure it does. Let's see. I played that shit. You could play it right now if you request access. I could have swore they said it's coming out late August. Does anybody have the it's either coming out this month or next. It's soon. I thought it was September. Am I bugging? Did I read that wrong? End of the summer. And I don't know why it's not giving me a release date. Let's ask Perplexity. When does the new Skate release to the public? The new Skate officially titled is set for early access the end of summer. I mean, the end of the summer is September. So it's either coming at late this month or like mid-September, because mid-September is when the fall starts. It's coming out soon. Guys, that's a red fucking flag. I've been said that shit. I've been said that this game is a red flag, but y'all not trying to hear me though. Don't get your hot. The EA that made Skate 1, 2, and 3 is not the one that's making this shit, bro. Later this month, I'm pretty sure it's later this month. Allegedly, someone's playing Skate 2. You will not enjoy Skate. We'll see how it plays out. But do you have to request before a certain time? That I don't know. You would have to look into it. I don't have any interest in that game. I got other games to play. Just Google it. It's a red flag that this game has been in development for like 4 years. There's no hype or any type of marketing behind it. It's about to come out and it's releasing in early access. I can't stress enough. It is a red flag when a multi-billion-dollar company like EA is releasing a big AAA title in early access. They don't give a fuck. And by the way, when the previews came out last month, there was a store in there. The game's not done. EA has billions of dollars to finish the production of the game, but they won't. So the game is half cooked. But you know what is in that game? A store for you to buy shit. Look at Battlefield. Battlefield, and we know EA got the money. Battlefield is polished. We played the beta. But for some reason, they won't foot the bill to finish Skate, but they'll make sure you can buy them skins and shit. I feel like I'm not saying it's going to be ass, but I do feel like there's some red flags there. Yeah, that store going to be fully functional. And I think they said they wanted to put ads in there too, because like in the gameplay, it looks like there's like billboards, blank billboards all across the city. Oh my Lord. If they put ads on the blank billboards, that game going to run like dog shit. Gonna be running like the not the GTA, the 2K servers, bro, because it's gonna be fucking my city. What is this shit right here? Chris Hansen is working on a documentary that will investigate Roblox handling of children's safety issues. Shout out to Chris Hansen, man. Fighting a good fight. Fighting a good fight. Y'all think it started off as jokes. Y'all thought I was joking. Jokes are half truths, man. We gonna get these Roblox niggas. We gonna get you. We coming for you, nigga. We coming for you. An Apex Legends TV show is still on the table, says EA. Speaking of EA, Miles referenced the game's extensive lore as one of the reasons EA thinks an Apex Legends film or television adaptation would do well, telling Variety that players don't have all the backstory, the history, and there's just rich worlds and rich history with these characters and these legends that can come to life through linear media and partnerships. We're pretty motivated to do that and doing it in a way that really respects and upholds the brand and the franchise. That doesn't mean it's coming. It means they're very interested in doing it. But I'm not gonna lie, man, and this is why consulting is important. If EA wanted to do If they wanted to do a television show, when did Apex come out? What, 2019? Apex Legends. Yeah, 2019. So, goddamn, 6 years ago. Okay. If EA wanted to do an Apex Legends TV show, right? Apex stumbled out the gate for those that don't remember. Shut up, Blizzy. Apex stumbled out the gate for those that don't remember. Apex did not hit its stride until season 2. But that happened in that's when they released the new map. They released the second map. That's when it hit its stride and it got really popular. So if Apex wanted to do a TV show, they should have announced it in 2020. Because from like 2020 to probably like 2022, I think that's when Apex peaked. And then like 2023, I think that's when and many others started to like kind of lose interest. So they should have announced it in 2020 And then by 2021, 2022, the show came out and they could coast off of that. Saying that, oh, we want to do a TV show that expands the lore 6 years later when the player count continues to decline and the only people who are still playing Apex are fucking crazy people, because now we have a new genre of gamers who refuse to let go of live service games because they've invested so much. Sunken cost fallacy has invaded gaming. We have people who have thousands of dollars in skins on their account, so they refuse to play anything else. Those are the only people that are still playing this shit. Crazies. And broke PS4 niggas. So with that being said, with the rabid fan base kind of being gone, I feel like they lost their moment. I don't know if they announced the TV show tomorrow, will I watch it? I'll maybe put it on the watch list. Maybe when I'm bored or like sleepy, throw it on. But like, will I care? Not really. Will I really care? No, not really. Like, it's like, I'll get to it. Like, I don't really care that much anymore. But I understand what he's saying. I do agree with the statement that like they crafted a very interesting world that was a spinoff of the Titanfall universe. And if they would have done a television show, it would have been a great way to expand upon that. And I think it would have made the fan base even more rabid and more appreciative of the video game. But I feel like that door closed. You missed it. Opportunity is a very tight window. And if you don't capitalize on it, a lot of times you don't get a second chance. So, and this is just life advice. When the door opens, put your foot on the pedal and go. And ride that bitch till the wheels fall off. Should have kept Titanfall. Tight shit. Speaking of TV shows, have you seen Alien Earth? I have not. Is that the new movie? Titanfall died for this shit. Oh yeah, I already covered this, the multiplayer mode. How many seasons? Apex is like season 23 or something like that. Warner Bros. Says the Batman 2 will begin filming in spring of 2026 and released October 1st, 2027. I thought they already started filming this, but we know it's coming. I seen a TikTok last night. People are hyped because apparently the dude who plays Batman followed the new Superman on Instagram. So people are now speculating they might introduce the Batman into the universe of the new DCU, James Gunn DCU. I thought it was supposed to be an Elseworld project. I don't know if I want them to be in the same universe. I don't see it working. It already established its own kind of thing. So I don't know if this will work. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but people are speculating that there's a possibility, because why else would they be following it? In my head, I'm thinking that doesn't mean it's going to happen. He just could appreciate him. You're Superman, I'm Batman, like type shit. Yo, shout out to J2 Nasty with the sub. Appreciate it. He's not really the Batman we need. Yeah, and also, didn't they say that they're doing Batman the Brave and the Bold is supposed to be more lighthearted, kind of like the cartoon from the early 2000s? Like, this is going to be the more traditional, darker, brooding one. So I don't think it's going to happen. The worlds are going to collide. That's all I got for that.